Stop underestimating the power of blush. Now that is something that I wish I would have told myself a long time ago, like at the beginning of my makeup journey, because I was that hoe that was like, no, blush isn't for me, I don't need blush. Like, yes, Cody, yes, you need a blush, and here's why. Blush can absolutely change the whole structure of your face, the whole shape of your face, and I'm gonna show you exactly how right now. Okay, so I feel like even talking from personal experience when it comes with blush, I didn't really want to use blush because I was like, well, I want that golden, that glow, that nice sun-kissed moment, and blush really doesn't fit that vibe. And then I was like, what are you talking about, Cody? Once I started seeing all these like blush palettes and realizing there's so many different colors of blush, then I was like, I can incorporate this into my routine. And when I started doing it, let me tell you, sometimes it's the smallest changes to your makeup routine that make the biggest difference, and for me, it's been blush. Why I love blush is because typically you can do two things when it comes to blush. You can either give more volume to the center of your face, or you can kind of give yourself that lifted, snatched appearance, and I'm always about lifting and snatching this mug. So as you can see, the majority of my base makeup is done. My foundation's on and I'm contoured. Now with the contouring, you can see that I do get that color back to my face and I get a little bit of that contour and that structure that I'm looking for, but not as much as I would like. So we're gonna fix that today with some blush. Now real quick, when it comes to colors of blush, I would recommend that if you are a light to fair toned babe such as myself, that you stick with some of these lighter tones. Now this one down here actually has shimmer in it. We don't want that. But the color is what I'm talking about. These ones, this light pink over there, those are gonna look natural and look really good on you. If you're one of my deeper skin tone beauties, then you'll wanna go in with shades like this, and even this one right here, this beautiful mauve. You can also do a beautiful orange blush or a beautiful red, like more of a bricked red color. Like these ones over here would be fantastic for my deep skin toned beauties. So just something to think about. Now, when it comes to applying your blush, you can either use a powder blush or you can use a cream blush. I like to use a powder blush because I feel like it's really a lot easier to apply because you can build up the pigmentation of the blush to get it to the color that you want. Whereas if I use a cream blush, I tend to end up getting more pigmentation than I want, and then it's a little bit more work and a bit trickier to tone it down. I'd rather build it up than have to tone it down, if that makes sense. So for me, like I said, I'm gonna use a powder blush, and I'm gonna dip into my Lunar Beauty Moon Prism blush palette. This is my favorite. Blush palettes are amazing because one, you can mix colors together, and two, if your skin tone changes throughout the year, maybe you get a little bit tan, maybe you get pale as hell like me right now, you can kind of adjust your blush accordingly. Now, as you can see, just from the color that's all over this, I use this one the majority of the time, but I could get away with using this one down here. Now, typically you'll find in blush palettes specifically, two different blush finishes. You'll find a matte blush and you'll find a shimmer blush. Shimmer blushes are pretty in theory, but if you're someone who has more noticeable texture and you don't want to emphasize it even more, because texture is normal, but we don't want to emphasize it if we don't have to. Shimmer blushes tend to emphasize it because you're drawing light to it and drawing attention to that texture, and we don't want that. So I would recommend that if you do have some noticeable texture, that you go in with a matte blush. If you don't have any texture at all and you're a porcelain doll, then by all means, use a shimmer blush, get that little shimmer blush moment going on, that little shine, that little sparkle, and call it a day. So for me, I have some texture like most people in the world, and I'm just gonna stick with a matte blush. So for me, I'm gonna go in with this light pink shade. This is called Pink Moon. So for my blush, I'm gonna start stamping into it with this brush, like I said. I'm gonna go in Pink Moon. So I'm gonna apply this pretty much on top of where I would typically contour. So as you can see where the contour product is right here, I'm gonna start stamping right on top of that and just kind of following that, and I'm gonna take it up towards my temple because I want to bring everything up. All of my makeup I apply, like my contouring, my bronzing, and my blush, I place everything in an upward angled area or motion just because I want everything to be lifted and snatched. So with this, since it's not super pigmented, I'm gonna stamp it on just to get the product and the pigmentation where I want it. And then if you need to, you can slightly and very gently blend it out just to make sure it's blended seamlessly. And the same thing with when you're contouring, you don't wanna take your blush when you're going in for the lifted appearance further in than like the outer third of your eye, because then it starts dragging down your face and it ruins the illusion. So just start stamping this on, and again, you can build up the pigmentation as much as you need or as much as you'd like. But it's just nice because even like this side already compared to this side, it just brings a little bit of that flushness in and a little bit of that color, and I really like that. Now, if you're one of those people who likes that cute little sun-kissed moment, that little oop on the nose, then you could take your blush and you could just brush a little bit of this across the bridge of your nose. This just brings a little bit of color to your nose and just kind of gives you that little moment, just that little moment. Just a little bit of color, nothing crazy, but it kind of brings everything together. Now, if you're someone who wanted to bring more volume into your face and just kind of give you more of a plump face moment, then you're gonna do the same thing that I just did, but we're gonna adjust placement. So instead of applying it where our contour would typically go, we're gonna apply it to the apples of our cheeks. And we're not going to smile. I know it's a habit for me too, but we're not gonna smile, I forgot to mention that, when we apply blush, because when you smile, your cheekbones are lifted, and then if you go based on where your cheekbones are now, well, guess what? When you stop smiling, your whole face drops, which means your placement is gonna be off. So don't smile when you apply blush. That's something I see people do a lot. It's not something you should do. We want our placement of our products to be where our face is when it's naturally resting. So when you got some resting bitch face, that's how you wanna apply your products, because that's where they're gonna naturally be sitting throughout your day. So again, if you wanted to bring some volume to your face, you would just take this, I'm gonna take a clean one because I don't want that right now, but you would just stamp it right here, right at the apples of your cheek, and just kind of blend it out, and it's gonna give you that rosy plump moment. Do that on both sides, and then just make sure you blend it out a little bit, and it'll bring more of that plumpness to the center of your face, which is what some people want. So if you take anything from today's video, remember that do not underestimate the power of blush. You can lift your face, you can sculpt your face, and you can bring volume to your face. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was super helpful. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll of course answer them as quickly as possible. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Click that big red subscribe button so you can join my YouTube family. Turn on my video post notifications by clicking that bell icon and switching it to all. And I thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have the day you deserve.